2 hours of sports talk excellence here in the Flower City. You found us. Thank you for joining us here today on this beautiful, sunny summer afternoon from the High Falls Studios in downtown Rochester. I'm Gene Battaglia, Rochester bred, Rochester proud. You can give us a call, 585-866-4326. That's the Good Smoke Barbecue and Pub Wingman line. We're on 95.7 FM, AM 950, always streaming for free inside the Odyssey app. We're on 1 to 3 Eastern weekdays, which means if this doesn't fit your schedule, well, then you can download the app and listen back to it upon your leisure. We're also on YouTube and Twitch. A lot of people finding us there. Give us a shout in the comments section. You're welcome to join us again, 585-866-4326. 86 degrees today, and we'll be talking hockey.
I love it.
Yeah, that's the way it is. What's crazy is I love catching up with Matt Thomas. Matt Thomas, you can't call him new head coach because Wayne Wilson was there so many years at RIT. But for Matt Thomas, coming in last year, it was new for a lot of us. Not new for him. He's an RIT grad. He played here. But now he's entering year 2. And I'm not sure what we're allowed to say and not say in terms of the portal and the talent coming in. But what I can tell you is this team is lining up well. It's coming together. We'll talk to Matt Thomas. We'll see if we can get him to spill the beans on some stuff. He'll join us bottom of this hour. Again, 86 degrees. Crazy thing is, like for Matt's calendar, this was the only day that would work. The guy is so busy, which that's exactly one. He's got a hockey camp here. He's going over there. He's recruiting here. Like Matt Thomas, it doesn't ever end for the guy. So he's coming in today, talk a little hockey. That means hour number 2 is wide open for you at 585-866-4326. That's a Good Smoke Barbecue and Pub Wingman line, award-winning barbecue from Good Smoke Barbecue and Pub, 135 West Commercial Street, East Rochester, goodsmokebbq.com. Got some Bills notes. Certainly we're going to talk a little World Cup. While we're on the hockey topic here, I'm going to give you the contrarian point of view. You say contrarian, it sounds offbeat. I think it's the correct point of view. I saw that report from David Pagnotta, fourth period. And if you listen to our show, Dennis Bernstein, I consider him a close friend. He's fourth period as well. So I'm not questioning the report that's coming out of Winnipeg saying that Pagnotta is reporting that Connor Hellebuyck would like to come to Buffalo, would welcome a trade to the Sabres. Here's my take on this. Don't be saying this out loud. I have seen so many people like online confetti. Like, this is awesome. Okay. Yeah, and the price just went up. Yes, that might be true. It might be known to people. Okay, but now you're telling the Sabres, hey, if you want Hellebuyck, you're going to have to give us a Konsta Helenius. Or I don't care about first-round picks, but I care about that young talent. And are you willing to part with some of these guys? It's not going to be just Helenius and a first-round pick. Let me tell you that. Probably a little bit more. So, yes, that's great. But I would ask, why wouldn't Connor Hellebuyck want to come to Western New York? Something good is happening here. He was teammates with Tage Thompson. Gene, the taxes. Okay. Have you seen the taxes in Canada? Okay. That's like Buffalo. We would look like Florida compared to Winnipeg. All right. Yes, it's something, just don't say it out loud. So I'm sure that people within that Sabres front office probably already knew that Hellebuyck, you throw out the feelers, you talk to representation, he would welcome a trade. Let's not say this out loud. Let's have the attitude that, the days of Kevin Adams burping up, comments about palm trees and taxes, those are over, okay? If you want to win, if you want to raise your profile a little bit, my expectation is the Sabre team, once again, will be fun next year, and once again, we'll be playing in the postseason. I don't necessarily need them to win the division. It was great. It was a lot of fun. Got you a better seed. But once they're in the party, and you know what you have to do. In fact, Krebs, by the way, avoids arbitration. I don't really care. It's one of those I don't care sort of stories. When it comes to arbitration, whether that's hockey or whether it's baseball, my eyes just kind of glaze over. And my sense is that your eyes may glaze over to, like, okay, great. Peyton Krebs will be here. He's under contract for 4 years. That's all you got to know. 585-866-4326. Yeah, I would also throw NBA Summer League into that. Funny how I follow my favorite team, the Knicks. And that's not just since June, okay? I go back many years with the team. So I could talk about, Starks and Bonner and certainly Oak. But, like, for the Knicks tweeting out updates about the Summer League, like this is the regular season, I'm like, okay, stop. I will never mute the New York Knicks. But I don't need to pretend like these games actually mean something. Our fine producer, Tim Schneider, today.
I've got a friend, a very close friend, one of my best friends. He's a Hornets fan. And we finished our softball game, and he asked for the Summer League game to be turned on the television. And I burst out laughing because it's a practice game with practice players.
Is he betting on it?
No.
See,
he's just that deep into the team.
Yeah, you know who also is like that? Trista Crick. So Trista, who we
knower
had,
of ball.
Yeah. If you love ball, yeah, this might be for you. This might be a lot of fun. I suppose if you are an NBA junkie, this isn't quite it, but it's just a little bit of a fix. I suppose for the NFL, what would be kind of the equivalent? We don't have Summer League. But hey, it's mandatory minicamp. Like, okay, and we're reporting on this like this is actual football. And when we get to training camp here in just over 2 weeks, 16 days from now, I am counting. Yeah, we'll be reporting on what we can, and we will be gobbling it up. So I should say, Tim, I don't want to be the show that dumps on somebody's joy. Like, we are not the show that dumps on soccer. We're not the show that dumps on NASCAR. If it's beyond my realm of knowledge, I will tell you. I like for the World Cup, I'm totally in, but I'm watching like just most average Joe fans. Like, wait a second, was that a dive? That was a dive. Wait, it's just the rules. Wait, he's out. That's a second yellow. That's where I'm at. I can't give you the advanced analysis on the World Cup, but I'm not going to dump on it, and I'm not going to dump on the Summer League. I'm just saying it's not for me, and I'm going to guess it's not for a lot of people, other than your buddy who's a Look, if you're a Hornets fan, that's a
party of one.
That's a little strange. I've never heard anybody that's a Charlotte Hornet fan. Like, you'd have to be from there. Unless he's your buddy. 585-866-4326 is our number. Before I get to some of the Bills takes of the day, we've got the Home Run Derby tonight. This is coming up in Philadelphia, and so you get the two hometown guys, and this is good, right? We were asking for this all along. Schwarber and Harper, let the crowd have fun. Good on these guys that they're actually doing this. Funny how, like, Shohei Ohtani is like, hey, whatever he has, a little knee issue.
My leg hurts.
Yeah, it looked fine yesterday hitting that home run, right? They lost to the Diamondbacks, but, hey, you could deliver, and I hope we don't get to a spot where the Major League Baseball All-Star Game all of a sudden becomes like the Pro Bowl, because I'm sure that the idea of after you're traveling nonstop and you don't have back-to-back days off since, what, February? I'm counting spring training in on that. That could be very, very enticing. Ooh, my leg really isn't. I'm not up for this. Shohei Ohtani didn't grow up in the culture where, hey, the All-Star Game still sort of means something. It's the only one I think that still has just a little bit of cachet. I know the NBA puts theirs on a Sunday night. Hockey is it's not even an annual event. It's when they can kind of get it in. And football, please. It's whatever. The Pro Bowl games, they call it. It's nothing more than just a bonus that smart agents work into a contract. So tonight, in addition to, and this is always proven to be the bigger rating draw. Now, this is going to be interesting because tonight, in case you forgot, it's on Netflix, which, all right, how does this kind of present? And that'll be something I'm sure we'll talk about tomorrow. Do they get kind of goofy with this and bring in, celebrities? And I'm okay with that because it's an all-star game as long as you can make me laugh or offer some insight. But if you're there promoting whatever movie or TV show or album, whatever the hell you're there, then no. give us something in return as us, the viewer, tonight. That's all I ask, okay? If you're going to come to the party, bring a dish, bring a cold one. Just don't come here to promote whatever. Schwarber and Harper, Ben Rice. My gosh, he was only here, last year. So look how Rice now, 29 homers at the break. Murakami of the White Sox, fantastic. Can't even call him young, coming over from Japan. Caglione from the Royals. Okay, this is his first full season. Wilson Contreras of the Red Sox. Jordan Walker of the Cardinals. Jordan Walker's interesting because it took him a few years to kind of get into gear. He was bouncing up and down between AAA and the majors, and here he is. And that Cardinal team is spunky. I'm not sure what to make of them, if they'll make a run. But that's your lineup tonight, and it does have a little bit of star power, particularly with Schwarber and Harper. And Ben Rice is way better than Jazz Chisholm. Jazz Chisholm in the home run derby felt like a big-time stretch there, and he was out real quick. I'm not one to provide betting analysis on the home run derby, but smart people are saying Caminero seems like the guy that could kind of deliver, and I might be inclined on that. Although, if you're a Yankee fan, why not a little Ben Rice tonight? 585-866-4326. Things that I don't have time for. Okay, the list was NBA Summer League, not really interested, right? How about the word snub? When I hear it, it's one of those things that only has a certain meaning, right? Like certain words, like if you say snub, it's in the context of All-Star break. Like if I say the word discreet, that's another one that has only one meaning. That's an ad that really should only be airing after 10 o'clock at night. But the snub for Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler's a baby, the Phillies starter. Not showing up. 10-1, 2.13 ERA. And I missed the first month of the season. So originally wasn't on the list. And then there was kind of the vote in or whatever, and then he wasn't elected to that. And then, hey, we got one opening. Hey, Zach, would you like to pitch in this? And for him, the answer is no. So I'm just going to lump this into the whole Ohtani kind of take that he's all angry that he didn't get out there and he's snubbed. It's a little concerning that, all right, the premier event, now you have this guy not showing up. And for anybody that does this sort of thing, you're only hurting yourself. Like, for Terrell Owens to not go to his own enshrinement, like that only hurts you, dude. None of us are ever going to, like the majority of us are ever going to remember that you didn't get in on the first try. It was your moment, and you chose to be immature. I'm going to say there's only one thing in the last 10 years that would qualify as a snub in sports. Because that's like, to me, a snub is like, okay, this is obvious, and this is happening for other reasons. That was Bill Belichick not getting into the Hall of Fame. Bill Belichick not getting into the Hall of Fame, that is the definition of a snub. Like Zach Wheeler, hey, dude, you weren't even the best pitcher the first half of your season. Christopher Sanchez was. Okay, there's other great guys in the National League. No one is going out of their way to disrespect Zach Wheeler. People went out of their way not to let Bill Belichick in the Hall of Fame the first time around, which, I mean, I don't know, from where I kind of sit here in Western New York, I just find that a little bit amusing. And I don't think Bill Belichick, when he does get into the Hall of Fame in 2027, which he will he decide to go the TO route? And I've been snubbed. I'm not going to go. Which, gosh, we're only a month away from that. What's the counter programming to that with Bill Belichick not in the Hall of Fame? Like, the girlfriend is going to have some sort of party or some sort of event or just take beach pictures or whatever it is. Although they've been very quiet lately, which leads me to wonder, are they still a thing? Is it just because we were so Rossini infatuated and the money attached to that when it comes to clicks and the paparazzi and everything else kind of went in another direction?
I think we just got distracted, yeah. I think it's still a thing.
I think so. I think it's going to come back big time. I think so. So, I don't even remember her name. What was her
Jordan
name?
Hudson.
Thank you.
With an O.
Not to be confused with Jordan Walker from the Cardinals we were talking
Correct.
about. Jordan Hudson. Jordan with an O. 585-866-4326 is our number. Stephon Diggs back in the news by his own volition here. Diggs going on his own YouTube channel. What a world we live in. I'll put Timmy on camera here. See, I'm my own director.
Yeah.
Here. Yeah. Like you get to hit the audio buttons. I get to.
I run the buttons. You run the show.
I run the camera here. For that, Tim, that is a player that I don't know. Well, we'll get more thoughts on Diggs here. YouTube channel going on it, saying there isn't a number 2 receiver better than him in the league. You're serious? You can't be serious, right?
Yeah.
I would take Khalil Shakir over Diggs today. Now, the obvious ones as number 2s. Devontae Adams, George Pickens, Jamison Williams, T. Higgins, courtesy of coming up with that list originally, our good friend Ryan Talbot. But for Diggs, he's just trying to get himself a job at this point. And he's going to find a job, but I think the take here is that winning teams need more than one guy. The days of having a true number 1 are kind of over, right? Like, who was the last one that was a true number 1? Marvin Harrison, perhaps, with the Colts? Probably was the last player that was a true number 1 that a team won a Super Bowl with that was going to just gobble up most of the targets. By doing this, Diggs is saying he's willing to take a secondary role. Fantastic. As he found us. Matt Thomas joining us. RIT men's hockey coach. You know, the crazy part, Matt, is that this is supposed to be our downtime here. And your calendar is chock full right now. Matt, how are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good. You know what? Trying to take the right time off, reset, kind of figure it out. But it's crazy. Like I know I always remembered this as a kid, right? Summers were long.
Yeah.
And then they got shorter and shorter and shorter.
Isn't that kind of aging, though? Like, I've read that because you go through patterns, like everybody, like, you talk to your higher-ups, like, your elders, like, okay, time moves by quicker when you get older. And maybe it's because of patterns. I don't know what it is, but
I just think we started seeing the finish line, unfortunately. Yeah. And we're like, oh, boy, it's coming. And you want to squeeze it in. But it's great. You know, for us, when I talk to our players, they're fired up. Right? There's kind of like what happens in hockey is you need that time off, but then you're kind of like, okay, that's enough. Let's get going.
Yeah.
And the guys, I feel that with the guys, and right now I feel it with me. I'm starting to feel those juices going. Like it's getting close and getting excited for the start of the season. So a lot of our guys will start coming up here. We've got guys in town training right now. But most of them are back at home, and they'll be here in less than a month.
Yeah, it's going to go by quick. Matt, we got to take a break. It's Matt Thomas, head coach of RIT. As I said at the opening of the show, can't say new anymore. I mean, that's over with. You're we kind of wiped that away. But proud RIT alum, head coach of the Tigers. We'll talk a little hockey. We'll have Tim's terrible take of the day. That's also coming up in time for your calls at 585-866-4326. That's a Good Smoke Barbecue and Pub Wingman line, award-winning barbecue from Good Smoke Barbecue and Pub, 135 West Commercial Street, East Rochester. GoodSmokeBBQ.com. It's the Home Run Derby tonight. Two Phillies will be in the contest in front of their hometown fans. Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber. Ben Rice representing the Yankees. The Home Run Derby, remember, tonight is on Netflix. It's the All-Star break 2 for the Rochester Red Wings. Wings are off back home Friday against Jacksonville. The World Cup semifinals beginning tomorrow. First up, it's France and Spain at 3 o'clock. Also at 3 o'clock on Wednesday, Argentina taking on England. Sports is brought to you by GetMyPerks.com, where today get 2 rounds for the price of 1 to Eagle Vale Golf Course. This comes with a card. For this and other great deals, log on to GetMyPerks.com. Gene Battaglin, the sports leader, 95.7 FM and AM 950, WGR Rochester. Matt Thomas, RIT men's hockey coach, certainly no stranger to Rochester, graduated at RIT, played for the Tigers. You're back home in a way, beginning year number 2, but give us kind of some life advice here, Coach, because I would think on the one hand it's a no-brainer for you, the opportunity. You're the assistant coach for the Providence Bruins. The opportunity to become the head coach at RIT comes up. It's not so easy when you have family involved. How has that been, trying to navigate you and your wife and trying to still be a dad and everything else?
Yeah, it's funny that with the business itself in coaching, and I've bounced between pro hockey and college hockey quite a bit, and the one thing that college hockey gives you is a little more stability, kind of. It settles it down. There's a little bit more length. There's a little more of a runway there to help. And pro hockey's very win now, right?
Yeah.
And so you I think that battle of what do you want to do? We all want to coach the best players, the highest level. The dream's always the NHL, and that would probably be the only thing that would ever potentially pry me away. But for me, the way I look at it, at this stage, my boys are in high school. They're just about to get through. And my wife and I talked about this, the opportunity to go coach your alma mater, the opportunity for me to kind of get closer to home, and closer to home for her. She's a Sarnia, Ontario. So, and we've been all over the world and not overly close. We were in Cincinnati for a few years, and that was the closest we've been to our families. So, being out in Providence, Rhode Island, and then coming back. So we're going to let our boys finish high school. That's kind of the deal we made with them when we made the move from Cincinnati to there. But then as we settle into Rochester, we're excited about it. Again, we're, just to be 2.5, 3 hours from friends and family in Southern Ontario. That's a luxury that we haven't had in our lives. So excited to do that. I'll tell you, the one thing I'll warn everybody, when you take over and you go back to your alma mater for any job, just remember the guys that the guys and gals you used to hang out with, they're not there anymore. And so I was like, I remember the first couple months I was sitting there going, like, where are all my buddies? Like, this is when I was here last. We were all together and we were doing our thing around campus, and they came down for a couple weekends to watch some games, but it was certainly a different feel. And then as soon as the guys got onto campus, and meaning our players, you just get all fired up for, to compete and get after it together. So that's been a lot of fun.
Was there anybody from the late 90s that you came back and said, welcome back, Matt? That, right, like anybody that had been there that long?
Well, yeah, there's, the guys in the maintenance department, like kind of cool that where you're like, you're going back. I'm drawing a blank on her name, but she does the haircutting place. It's called Sheer it's right on RIT. She used to cut our hair when when I was in school. She's still there. That was cool to see. But probably the coolest thing for me is to come back and, guys like Adam Driscoll, Peter Bernazakis, Chris Palmer, Tommy Masacci, Jamie Newtown, guys, Mark Staley, who's coaching, he's up in, Batavia. And, to see these guys that I went to school with and played at RIT with and had a relationship with, and those guys are still around town. That's a pretty neat little connection that you get back.
I was so happy, too, that you retained Dave and Sulaco. It seemed like, because I think Dave could go run his own program, just what kind of, benefit is that, having somebody that not only knows RIT, the recruiting trail, also knows this league, certainly.
Yeah, I'll tell you, he's been the blessing in disguise for me, being just so knowledgeable, really understands what we need to do at RIT for RIT to be successful. Obviously, a guy from the area, grew up in the area. I played against him. He played at Rockport. So when I was at RIT, we played them a couple times. Was a good player in his day. But for me, this guy, he's just a worker. Like, he works, man. And when you're in this business, there's a lot of it. There, like, people say, oh, you get to work in something, you do something you love, and but the work it's intense and it's hard. And the recruiting, there's days that Dave will be on the ice. He'll leave. He'll drive through a snowstorm to, Windsor, Ontario, watch a game, and he'll be back in the office at 9 a.m. I'm like, what are you doing here? and he'll drive both ways in the night, and it's the dedication, but it shows me why they were so successful. And he's been here 18 years. Like him, Brian Hills, Wayne Wilson, the work they put in to do what they did for RIT hockey, and for Dave to be able to keep doing it. It's great. I'm blessed personally to have him on staff. He's been rock solid for us, and just is keeping this thing going and heading in the right direction. And he's got great pride in the program. And when somebody has that passion, and you can see it every day, that's contagious.
Matt Thomas, head coach of RIT men, joining us here. We go back 3 years. It was, that long ago now, where you had the RIT Tigers and this team with just dynamite, and then the portal happens and opportunities come up, and one by one, some of these guys start to leave, and one of those guys, Matthew Wild, who scores a goal in the Atlantic Hockey Championship game over American International, helping the Tigers get back to the NCAA tournament. He leaves for Hockey East, and I think a lot of us at the time thought, good, your players have other opportunities, not going to get upset. He comes back to RIT. I'm allowed to say this. I just said it out loud. How did this all come about that you landed Matthew Wild back here with the Tigers?
Well, I'll tell you, the transfer portal what it's done is created this opportunity for players to venture out and see what else is out there. And I think when you're a competitive athlete, you constantly look at, what do I need to do to realize my goals? Where do I need to get to create the next opportunity? And for a lot of guys, they think, and it's, I totally understand it. It's get to a big time conference, a big time program. So he goes to UMass Amherst, and obviously, they've had Cale Makar. They've been a really good team. They've been in NCAA tournaments and Frozen Fours, and like everything, when you make a change, there's no guarantee that it's going to work out exactly how you planned it out. And for him, it was just that was the case. I think back to the day he told me he was going to transfer, maybe a week after I had the job, and I knew the rumblings were there that him and Tyler Fukakusa were looking at different options, and they were really good players, all conference players in Atlantic hockey, and I'm really glad I said, listen, if it doesn't work out, you're always welcome back. Because most of the time you're like, here's the door, I'll kick you out.
Well, let's stop right there. Is that unusual? Because I would I'm trying to think of other instances where, again, we're all kind of new across every sport, right? Like that seemed, for you to keep the door open seemed to me like, okay, that I haven't heard that before.
Well, I think two things, and probably the most important one being this. I wasn't overly tied to Matthew Wild. Like, I didn't recruit him. I didn't bring him here. I wasn't a part of the team. Mm-hmm. I was an observer from afar, seeing what he was doing, and I knew he was a good player, and I was like, oh, that's going to hurt us.
Yeah.
But the opportunity, I I get it. I get it for these guys. They want to make the NHL. And when you feel like, hey, I've done a really good job at RIT, if I can go do it at another program, everyone's going to know that I am legit. And we all know, success comes from opportunity, right? And when you get into some of these situations, you go in and you're the perfect fit. Like Tyler Fukakusa had a real good experience at Northeastern, but they were really light on centers. So they needed him that much more. And, and Matty Weil goes to UMass, and, here's a guy that he can put a puck in the net. But you need to be able to play with guys that can get you the puck. And he got kind of, he had his opportunities up and down, but he didn't grab them right away early. And as a result, you just kind of you're just one of a really good group of players. And you see that with guys on our team, guys that come out of junior hockey with just a ton of points, and it doesn't translate right away. And sometimes it takes some time. Sometimes it never translates. And for him, I'm just grateful that I think it showed a lot of courage for him to come back. Yeah. Because a lot of people would say, I left that train. It didn't work out exactly how I imagined it would. I'm not coming back there. Like, I'll go somewhere else. And, you credit him because that's a bold move from him. And for us, it's a huge addition. Anytime you get an all-conference player, a top goal scorer in the conference, and you get him back, I know our guys are excited, and I know he's really excited, and that's what I want him to be. I just want him to be excited. Go out and play the game. Show everybody what type of player you are.
I mean, it's not just true of hockey, but I would think that, hey, if you're good, they'll find you, right? So, like, you hear this all the time, particularly when I'm talking to, like I say, a Division III football coach or whatever it may be. In hockey, does it matter that for somebody that is up front, you need to be playing with the guy who can, on the blue line, who can get you to puck? You need to be playing in a bigger stage. Does that matter all that much?
Well, I think it's situational too, right? So I think it does matter to a certain degree. If you want to be a guy that wants to go on and earn an NHL contract, and that's all the goal of every one of our players when they step on campus. As you go through your college career, those goals start to change a little bit. You start to recognize where you are in the pecking order. And for me, if you're going to be a goal scorer, and that's what Matt Weil does. He can score, right? Like Tyler Fukakusa, he can make plays and he can set up goals. So those two, along with Christian Catalano, worked really, really well together. Those three, they played junior together in Ontario and Toronto. So those guys had a lot of chemistry coming in as freshmen, and you saw it and with that really good team that went to the NCAA tournament. Those guys were impactful freshmen, and then they back it up with another good sophomore year, and then two of them leave to go take this on. But if you're not getting the opportunity, like, you've got to play top minutes if you want to be a guy that gets to the next level. So that's something that needs to be earned, and sometimes you just don't get the opportunity to earn it. That's where coaches get in the way, right? We can get in the way of that. And for me, it's like everything. I've always felt as a coach that just show me every day, and I'll give you the opportunity. When you get the opportunity, you got to deliver. And I think when a guy like Matt Weil, he's a guy. He did that at RIT. He just wasn't able to capitalize on those opportunities at UMass. So coming back, he should be coming in. I know he's coming in with a ton of confidence, and he feels like he became a way better player because his role needed a change. So he needed to be a little bit more of a checking guy and learn the defensive side. He talking about blocking shots and things that goal scorers don't talk about very much. So for him, he's a guy that probably elevated his status to be able to become an NHL prospect because of what he had to go through and had to learn with that transition. Now he comes back and says, okay, I know how to defend and play in all three zones, and I'm going to show you I can still score. And we're really looking forward to having him.
Yeah, I'm curious if you're going to put Catalano back with him and who would center that line. You've got a long time to figure that out. Tell us about some of these other players that are coming through the portal, the Matthew Manias, and some of the other guys we can look forward to on the ice here.
Yeah. So I'll go with the other forward first in Peluso, a local guy from Victor. And, same type of situation, right? He's commits in the old kind of status before the CHL to the University of Maine, goes to the University of Maine, and again, a really good player, a Canadian national championship player, and Brooks, and he gets just kind of lost in the shuffle a little bit there, right, as a freshman, and easy to do. He's got, all of a sudden, there's these more NHL draft picks that he's playing behind, and he's just a competitor. He wants to play. So we the doors kind of opened there, and we got to talking, and he thought it'd be pretty neat to come back home. And it's always nice when we can get, Rochester area kids to step in and play big roles. And we think he's going to be a real fun player for everyone to watch and follow. He's competitive. He's fast. I think for our fans that know Caleb Elfring, I think there's a lot of similarities in the two players. Right? They're quick. They can get their shot off. They're dynamic. They take you out of your seat every now and then. And they're players that I think just get better because of their work ethic. So he's a big add. And then two defensemen that we get, Matthew Mania, who you mentioned, and Nick DeAngelis. So Nick DeAngelis coming from UNH, University of New Hampshire. He was a big-time scoring defenseman in the Ontario Hockey League. So he played with the guys that he ran a power play with. A bunch of those guys are in the NHL now. And Matthew Mania was the same thing in the OHL, and he went to Michigan. And again, those guys have just gotten caught in those same situations, right, where ice time wasn't as plentiful as they expected, and they're just competitors. They want to get better. They want to play. They want to utilize their skill set. And for us, the door opens up where we get these players that can come in and really add to our group.
How does it help you? Because I would think, all right, for these players that want to get to the, ultimate goal, well, you have on your resume, hey, Cincinnati, Providence, I know exactly what can help. Do you get a lot of questions like that when, how are you going to help me? What do I need to do to become a pro after my time in college?
Yeah, and you know what, the one thing about becoming a pro is there's two things. You need to have the talent. And then you need to have the obsession to do the work. That grind gets really hard, and you get beat up along the way. So when we're recruiting players or we're trying to sell RIT to them, we know they want to come to RIT and they want to win. And I'll tell you, that's why I came back, because I know RIT, we win here. Like, that's a really cool thing about RIT hockey. There's been a lot of success. There, a lot of championships along the way, and we want to continue that. And these guys want to be a part of that first. That's the thing that they all talk about. They want to win, and they want to contribute to the winning. To become a pro, their simple ask is, how can you get me there? And our job as coaches, and when we're selling these guys, is we can tell you, obviously, I know what keeps guys out, and I know what gets a guy to the ultimate goal of getting that NHL recall and getting into those games and turning into an NHL player. And it's such a small margin, because I mentioned right away, you need to have the talent, right? Now you got to do the work. And that's the hard part, because you got to be honest with yourself and you got to do the work. And for us as a coaching staff, we've talked about creating a development plan that is centered around honesty. We're not going to build you up to make you something that you're not. We're going to tell you exactly what you need to do. Now it's up to you. If you want to go do it, we're going to help you and guide you as much as we can, but it's really on the player to get to that level. So we're excited. Those four guys, two on the back end and two up front, we're going to get a lot of punch from them in a lot of areas that we were lacking last year. And that's not a shot on last year's team. We knew we needed to score more. We lost, I think it was 12 one-goal games. So, some of that added punch there is going to really help.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun the way the team started out winning. Like, okay, we're back. Last year, it seemed like you ran out of little gas. Is that just, okay, we're going to fortify now the whole roster? Like, your thoughts on how last season ended?
Yeah, I think, honestly, I think I can probably take most of the blame for it. I think when we get out to this 9-game winning streak in the first half, and it's us and Michigan State, the two hottest teams in the country, and who's going to lose first, and then we go up and it actually really made me mad, because it's something I forgot about in the NCAA, but we lose in overtime to Niagara, and it counts as a loss in the NCAA. I'm like, What do you mean? It was
yeah.
tied after 60 minutes. But that's just the NCAA because all the ranking stuff. Somebody has to win the game and lose the game. I still don't agree with it, but that's for another conversation. But what I realize in that situation is like, okay, we're hitting marks quicker than I thought we would. This is great. So I wanted to push. And I pushed really hard, and I was probably pushing too much for the timing of it. I always said coming in, I don't really care about the first half. I just want to be better in March than we were in October. And we were, but along the way, I think I maybe pushed a little too much. So it's a good lesson for me coming in and understanding where I can and can't push these guys and how hard. It doesn't mean we're going to lay off them. We're going to go about it just a little bit of a different way. But I was really happy with us. We were a team that was totally offensively challenged, like just with the departures in the last 2 years, right? And it's really hard to replace elite playmaking, scoring players. 4 of our top 6 scorers last year were freshmen, and we returned a 5th one in Christian Catalano, who was arguably our most gifted player. So, you put Matt Wild in that, you put Peluso into that, and you put those guys a year older and a year experience. They're not freshmen learning all these things, all this whole year of firsts for them. The first time to Holy Cross, the first time to Bentley, the first time, on an international trip out to Ireland. So we had a lot of different things that kind of maybe were a little overwhelming at times, and I should have been better at recognizing when I needed to lay off, and I wanted to push, but I was excited about how much the guys were giving us.
Yeah, Matt Thomas, head coach for RIT. A couple more for you, Matt. And this is the headline here. RIT Athletics opts in the NCAA settlement to enhance competitiveness. Okay, translation. Beginning next season, we're able to offer some things to the incoming athletes. What does that all mean? Yeah,
this is a really important thing for RIT. And the biggest thing is the recruiting world has changed. So I came in and I was like, it's not that big of a deal. Not everybody opted in. I get it. It's the Big Ten, the big time schools have this big football money. And then as the recruiting year went on, we noticed a massive shift in what caliber of player you could get if you could sweeten the pot a little bit. The funny thing about it, these guys aren't looking for big money like the football players and the basketball players. These guys, they want simple things like the agents and the parents. They don't want to pay for summer training.
Okay,
they're a Division I athlete.
Yeah.
Like that should be something that they're provided, right? We want them to get better, so they want that, but that's costly. If you're going to a power skating instructor in the summer and you're trying to work on your stride mechanics and get better in that way that will help you become a National Hockey League player, those are important things. That's costly. And it's not out of the realm. So for us as a university, we recognize that to retain our talent is the most important thing. We want our really good students, like our guys crushed it academically, right? And they're really good students and they're really good hockey players. We don't want to develop them for somebody else. We want them to stay. So in order to do that, we needed to step up our game and be able to do different things. So we're looking forward to it. Obviously, we're going to put together a little bit of a campaign here to put ourselves in a position where we can support that and keep it. But we had nobody transfer out willingly on their own where they were looking for a better situation. There were some players that elected to leave through conversations that I had with them on their role where I saw them and they wanted to play more and I couldn't guarantee it. So, we parted ways and that's going to happen. And that's the new world. But for us, all our kind of impact players and players that played a big role, they all stayed and they all see what we're doing here. And we want to reward that. And we felt this between Celeste Brown, the women's coach, and myself, we really, really push for this. We know it's a potential game changer for RIT.
Yeah, this is going to be like, let's check back here in 2 springs from now, see where things are at. Matt Thomas, RIT men's hockey coach. As we wrap this up, Matt, home and home with Niagara. big capital letters, Brick City, Michigan State. I mean, they could be the best team in the nation here. Your thoughts on the schedule ahead for your team?
Yeah, it's great, right? We get a good early start here with 2 conference games, which is a little unusual, but nothing better to get you fired up for how important those games will be. And then we get into our non-conference stretch, and we go down to UMass for 2. So my guess is Matt Wiles going to be pretty good that weekend. I'm going to try to double shift him early in that one. And then we get Jared DeMichael and the Michigan State Spartans coming in. I saw D. Mike's our goalie on our Frozen Four team from 2010. He's an assistant at Michigan State. So I saw him yesterday in Buffalo at the 17 national camp, and he's like, I was telling our players, they were like, hey, I heard this game's awesome. And he's like, oh yeah, this is an unbelievable game. And he knows, he goes like I got to get my guys fired up because, they come in and they're loaded with talent. Like, talk about teams opting in and how college hockey's changing. I think they have, how many first rounders? 13? Like, there was some ridiculous.
Yeah, I haven't seen their official roster, but I've never seen a roster this full.
Yeah, they're going to be young. They're going to be ultra talented. It's going to be a great game for fans to go watch because there's going to be probably close to 10 guys that are in the National Hockey League within the next 2-3 years. So, we're excited about that. And then we get home 2 home games against RPI before we get into our conference schedule. So it's a great little stretch for us, a tough stretch to open up the season. But again, we're looking at being a team that is better in the second half than what we were this year. And that just takes good competitive games at the beginning of the year to help build that identity for yourself. So we're really excited. But that Michigan State one, that's going to be a special one.
Yeah, Matt Thomas is the season right around the corner. And I know between your son's camp and everything going on at RIT, I'm really happy you had a few minutes to come downtown here today. So I'm really sorry you didn't get the Leafs job, though.
Yeah, and you know what? It's funny. It's one of those ones that I tell you what, I wouldn't be stopping into the media places if I was the Leafs job because you'd be getting eggs thrown at you when you're walking out. But before the season, the season's good.
What do you think of the GM here? Because it seems like there are a lot of people in the hockey world, and maybe it's that one reporter that are like they're hoping this guy fails. I'm like, no, I want to. Not that I'm a Leafs fan. I want to see how this plays out here.
Yeah, listen, you don't get that job unless you're an impressive person, like as a GM. And John Chayka, like he's one of the founders of analytics. He created his own analytic company with his sister, and he's a really bright guy. Obviously, Matt Sundin, who was a staple during kind of my time at RIT and being a Toronto guy. So the Leafs were good, and he was a big part of those teams. Him going in as the senior advisor, and there's just some of the moves they've made. A good buddy of ours that plays with my son Judd Brackett got the assistant GM job. He was the director of scouting for the Minnesota Wild, so he's a really impressive guy. He's going to do a great job there. So they're doing some good things, no question about it. And I think when you go through this change, they get the number 1 pick. And then you get Gavin McKenna, who we unfortunately didn't get to see last year when we played Penn State, but he's a generational player.
I'm not going to apologize for that because you won the game. So
yeah, yeah. Thank God he was still at the World Junior Championships. But you know what? They've got some buzz going, and I think they've done it. They get Bobrovsky and net. So the Leafs, it's going to be an interesting year, and I think everybody, like, the Leafs are an iconic franchise. They just are. And everybody wants to see them fail. They want it to be hard on them, and it's kind of strange, right? But you look at our Sabres. How good were they, right? What a run! What a great opportunity to watch them do what they did last year. They're getting going, and the Leafs, the Bruins, the Panthers, they've got a lot of tough in that division. Like, with Buffalo coming the way they're coming, Detroit, Ottawa's made some changes, but these teams are getting better. So the NHL is a real healthy spot, and the Leafs are certainly in the limelight with getting that with McKenna.
Well, it's hey, if you're a Sabre fan, I think it's the rising tide lifts all boats. Check out the Tigers, right? Coming up in October. Not wishing my time away. Enjoy the rest of the summer. Time goes by quick, Matt.
Yeah, you too. Looking forward to it. Can't wait to see everybody in the Gene Policini Center this fall, and make sure that it's rocking because we're excited. We're excited about the group we have. We think we're going to take a big step.
Matt Thomas, RIT head coach, thanks again, and let's looking forward to our conversations coming up this hockey season.
Yeah, thanks, Gene. Appreciate it.
We will have more. We'll have Tim's Terrible Take. We'll take your calls at 585-866-4326. Gene Battaglia here on WGR Rochester.
HD2 and W239BF Rochester. The sports leader, 95.7 FM and AM 950 WGR Rochester. An Odyssey sports station, WGR Rochester. Sports Update.
Taking center stage in the sports world tonight, baseball from Philadelphia. It's the Home Run Derby. Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber to represent the hometown team. Ben Rice representing the Yankees. He's got 29 homers at the break. Home Run Derby tonight on Netflix. It's also the All-Star break here in AAA. The Rochester Red Wings off this week. They're back in action Friday at home against Jacksonville. To fill the void a little bit, the World Cup, the semifinals, they begin tomorrow. First up, it's France and Spain at 3 o'clock, Argentina and England at same time on Wednesday. The NHL schedule for the upcoming season, that will be released on Thursday, some dates to be released on Wednesday. Sports is brought to you by GetMyPerks.com. Get 2 rounds for the price of 1 with card to Eagle Vale Golf Card. Of course, for other great deals, log on to GetMyPerks.com. G. Battaglia, WGR Rochester.
Pull up a chair, stay for a while. You're in the sports bar on WGR. Grab a drink, hang your coat, get sports talk. Live from Western New York. It's a master show. 9 times better than your typical host. 9 times. Gina Tim F takes much hotter than most. No one cares when you're out. Sabres, Bills, Americans, Red Wings, and Nighthawks. Sports bar for Rochester Sports Talk.
Hour number 2. Thank you for joining us here today. Gene Battaglia with you. This is the Sports Bar, WGR Rochester. 585-866-4326. That is our phone number. You can reach us on X, our handle WGR Rochester. You can leave a comment, YouTube and Twitch, as Coach Chris Kurtz did. Happy Monday, Gino. I don't know, just Monday, whatever.
We made it to Monday.
We made it a Monday. It's sunny, but thank you very much for watching, Chris, and thank you for wherever you may be listening to. You missed hour number 1. You can go back in the rewind feature as Matt Thomas, RIT men's hockey coach. Big takeaways there, Portal was kind. There are some talented guys, and for the idea that Matthew Wild, a player that was like the top gun on an RIT team that made it to the NCAA tournament, and then he leaves for Hockey East, and he's coming back. I don't recall. There's got to be some sort of parallel in sports, in college sports, where, hey, a player leaves, goes to another school, grass isn't greener, and I don't know if that's the case here, but the idea is that they come back. Where does that happen? Other thing to be encouraged about, and he kind of got into this a little bit, that, yeah, RIT is going to become a player when it comes to, all right, you need a little help. Before the Tigers, as well as a lot of other Atlantic hockey teams, were saying, no, like, you can come here, but the tuition will be covered, and that's about it. No, like, we're not talking like big money here. Like you're talking about, as Matt mentioned, hey, I want to take some power speed classes over the summer. Okay, well, good luck to you. No, you're going to have like incidentals picked up. I don't know, maybe a plane ticket here or there. Like the idea that, hey, the Tigers are playing in the in the arena, so to speak, that everybody else is playing in college sports. And hockey's, it's not basketball or football, certainly. We're not talking hundreds of thousands of dollars or anything like that. Just, okay, can you help me out here a little bit? The idea that you could get pop for buying somebody lunch. That's
no cream cheese on that bagel.
No, it was so stupid. Some of the things previously. And you know who's to blame here for where we are in college sports? That's the governing body, NCAA, because they didn't see where the puck was headed, so to speak. Like when Ed O'Bannon said, hey, wait a second, that's my face on that video game. How come I'm not getting a cut of that? And it took a long time to get where we are, but I'm kind of glad that things are where they are, because it just only feels right. 585-866-4326 is our phone number. I find tonight fun. I think the Home Run Derby is fun. I'm hoping that going back to the old format of just, all right, it's not timed, but you're just going to get unlimited home runs. It doesn't take any of the zip out of this. I hope Netflix sticks the landing on this too. Is this the biggest event Netflix has shown as a sporting event? And I know we're going to say no. I'm going to say yes. Just hear me out. Because, yes, they've had NFL games. Christmas Day NFL games. I'd also say that some of those games are just not that enticing. It also is Christmas Day, right? You also, chances are, have all the responsibilities on Christmas Day. You're not watching back-to-back for 7 hours on Netflix. At least I hope you're not. Tonight, all right, if you like sports, you are front and center. There is no other counter programming. Everybody's going to be watching. Netflix also had the Mike Tyson fight, if we even want to call that sports, but that's where they might have learned, all right, maybe we got to work on our bandwidth or whatever it was at the time. 585-866-4326. Was that Netflix or was it something?
It was Netflix.
It was Netflix. Okay.
The Logan Paul, Mike Tyson scam fight. Just take our money.
Just like who saw that being a disaster, right? I've got some thoughts on the Bills as we are. Think of it this way: we have this week, and then next week. Next week is the last week you will be without football, because once we get to the week of July 27th, camps open up. First practice at Fisher on the 29th. It's a little later this year, admittedly, but again, enjoy these nice days. But football here is king, and football is right around the corner. With that, I never know what he's going to say. We hand off the baton.
It's now time for Terrible Time Timmy's Terrible Take of the Day on WGR Rochester. WGR Rochester. It's Terrible Time Timmy.
You and Coach Thomas just had a wonderful, about a half-hour conversation about hockey. I'm going to have a couple-minute conversation, a bad conversation about hockey. I'm going to name a bunch of names to you. You're not going to know them. Verushka, Caden, Dax, Drew, Blake, Tegan,
Okay.
Tom.
Okay. Name your kids Michael and John. What is the take?
The take here is these names are on the Stanley Cup, and they didn't do a damn thing.
Oh, I see what.
So, loser basketball owner, loser hockey owner, Tom Dundon, sounds like the Law & Order SVU theme, dun-dun. 7 of them on the Stanley Cup. They didn't do a damn thing to get on there. They left players that played half the season off of it, and training staff, nutritionists, people that actually are part of the organization. They left their names off to put this guy's name on, or this family's name on. His name belongs on it. He's the owner. Why are these other 6 names on it? They didn't do anything other than be related to this guy who is noted bad guy in basketball as well.
Well, all right, so do we blame the guy or do we blame the jellyfish commissioner? I'm blaming the jellyfish commissioner because you can't be putting the family names on there. Tim, owners have no shame. They live in their own, we call them in the sports bar aliens because they exhibit this alien behavior. You and me and everybody else would have the self-awareness to realize, wait a second, if I put my son's name, there was one player who played, 38 games for Carolina,
Yes.
didn't get his name on the
Yep.
Yeah, that
Joel Nystrom.
that's egregious. It is egregious, and it doesn't make you a good owner if you win a championship. And it's really kind of scummy that James Dolan won a championship. I'm a Knick fan. We just kind of all held our nose in that regard. Like that guy, and this guy who just put a blowtorch to the Portland Trailblazers. This guy who I know he's a snake. If you are a fan in Oregon right now, you are freaking out because, hey, this guy has said, I'm not paying a dime for your arena improvements. He is laying the groundwork to move that team to, I don't know, Nashville or wherever it wants to get a check. You own a team, there's a public trust that comes with this. And I think it was gross that the NBA kind of let that guy in, knowing what he did in Carolina. How in Carolina he just ran this, but all's well that ends well. He won a cup. And not that Carmanos was that the guy's name? Who was
the
guy?
Amex GM?
No, I got to look it up, Tim. Guy who owned Hartford Whalers to move to Carolina. He's the guy who sold it to Dundon.
It was Carmanos. Peter Carmanos Jr.
I wonder if they're related. I hope not. Right? So, like, yeah, that's a bad guy, too. Like, come on. Like, you mean to tell me Raleigh's that much a better market than Hartford? I don't know. No, you're absolutely right. Like, that's a joke, and it's a stain on the sport of hockey. It really is.
The most sacred trophy in sports, in my opinion, is now disgraced.
They're right at the top, though.
It takes the first 2 rows up of the trophy. All 7 names. Like, his name belongs on there. I'm not disputing that. But to overdo it the way that he did it and to leave other people off, I mean, you're allowed, I think, 55 names or something like that. They didn't get the full 55.
All right, so what do we think? Let's say, I haven't talked to him in like 20 years, so get him on the show. Jay Moran, voice of the Sabres, PA. And the Buffalo Sabres win this now, ladies and gentlemen, the Stanley Cup. Yeah,
that would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
If Jesse Pegula's on the cup, I'm done.
Well, I was going to say, who are Michael, Laura, Jessica, Kelly, and Matthew? Jessica, those are the children. So Michael and Laura are life number. Or what? Funny how we don't ever hear about wife number 1. But yep, they exist. Laura kind of is helping Terry to run things in the absence of Kim. But 5 children overall for Terry Pegula. Like, how do we feel about that? How would we feel like all of a sudden if Kelly Pegula's name ended up on the Stanley Cup?
Nope, I don't like it. Kim?
Matthew Pegula. I've heard stories that Matthew Pegula used to sit in meetings, scouting meetings and wants to learn and everything. It's like, okay, yep, absolutely.
They're fans with money. That's what the Pegulas became.
Well, yeah, it's you get a lot of these stories like the Jets owner, Woody Johnson. So the Jets win a Monday night football game. Was it Denver? I forget the exact opponent. And it was kind of rare, right? The Jets actually winning. And Woody Johnson goes in, and it's the grandson handing out the game balls after the game. Do you remember this story, Tim? And so this kind of came out. It's like, no, dude. No, it's one thing for the owner, the GM. That should be the head coach or the quarterback handing out the game balls. But then you have the grandson, talking up Garrett Wilson like they're really, really close friends. And like, okay, just kind of like, it's just a lot of behavior that is just unusual when it comes to NFL owners. Thank you, Tim. 585-866-4326. In the 17 regular season games for the Buffalo Bills last year, how many would you guess the Bills actually had a lead at halftime?
7.
That's exactly the number. Did you look that up?
No, I didn't even know you were talking
cheated.
about.
No. Well, that's my point here. Like, hold on. How do we view this? How do we view this?
They weren't that good last year.
Well, yeah, that's one way you could look at it. Like, hey, we made halftime adjustments, and if you just took it on that basis, Tim, and I'm sure there were some games that were tied, but the Buffalo Bills, if you just played 30 minutes of football, and let's say every game they tied, they lost, they'd be 7-10? Okay, are we concerned that this is a team that, my gosh, if Josh Allen isn't on top of his game and you get 1 or 2 injuries around here, that they're just not that good? Or on the other hand, well, why weren't they more prepared out of the gate last year? And look, there were some games where Baltimore week 1, all right, that didn't start off great, but you found a way. How about the New England game in New England in December? My gosh, they're getting their doors blown off. They're down 21-3 at the half, and then you found a way. You did it. Hey, you give the team credit on that, for sure. But I'm talking about the game in Miami, or even the first Miami game. They weren't leading at the half. 7-10, if you just took it from that standpoint. Are we concerned, or are we looking at this as an opportunity? Look, it's summertime. Every fan base thinks this is it. This is the secret sauce of the NFL, right? Pick a team. Even the Jets. No, I'm not going to go that far. I'm sorry. All right. The 31 other teams in the NFL, not named the Jets. You're thinking, well, if we did this right, if we had this, Titan fans, hey, you're fired up, right? For quarterback, year number 2, new head coach. Yeah, this is going to go really, really well. Hey, I get it. This is why we love being fans. No one wants to be miserable. You want to hope. You want to believe. And for the Buffalo Bills, sometimes you don't look back. When we talk to Matt Thomas, he's got great self-awareness. Like, last year started great for the Tigers, but we have to acknowledge it just kind of petered out right at the end. What the heck happened? Hey, it's like I'm not going to push him as hard, or I'm going to hit some different things. That's kind of great. All right, Joe Brady, I'd be curious to get his thoughts. If I had a question to Joe Brady, but this, how does your team get off the faster starts? And this is just, let me present this kind of like half-baked theory, because I'm sure there might be cover one guys or whoever that might provide analytics or film or combination thereof that would say, no, this isn't true. But the preaching of complementary football, the idea that, hey, we just want to make sure we're not putting our defense in a bad position or vice versa. Your defense wasn't very good last year. So for Buffalo, like, what about the idea that with Josh Allen at quarterback, and now you got a DJ Moore, you still have all these pieces on offense. Let her rip. Let Josh wing it around. Do advanced analytics. I mean, the idea that James Cook faced all these stacked boxes, and I could pull up the stats and glaze you over with it. It's true. That shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Teams are telling you, okay, yes, Josh Allen, we're definitely afraid of Josh Allen's legs and James Cook's legs. How about Josh Allen's arm? Can we push it downfield just a little bit? Oh, we don't want to create a turnover. So what? It's going to happen if you throw the damn ball. I think the Bills should get way more aggressive next year, particularly in the first half. Because you know what? What happened in the second half quite often than not? They figured it out, and they opened it up just a wee bit. The idea that in 17 regular season games with Josh Allen, you only led at 7, and newsflash, not like the schedule was murderous last year. You had the Jets twice. You had the Dolphins twice. You had the Browns. You led at halftime with the Browns. That's the aberration. That was the one where they almost farted that game away.
The Browns.
Yeah, right. So, are you kind of curious? Like, I'm trying to get everybody's appetite a little wet here for training camp here.
2 weeks away.
2 weeks away. Like, can we see this offense kind of open it up? And you know what's going to happen because it happens every year. Well, let's go back to last year. Oh my gosh, look at Keon Coleman. Wow, they have chemistry. Everything looks really good. And the reality is that's going to happen too. These guys, if they don't look good, then it's a story. What we need to see them look good is in pads. And the preseason schedule, Tim, okay, we're still over a month away from our first preseason game. In case you had forgot, I forgot. Honestly, I'm like, when does the Bills preseason schedule open up? Okay, it's a 1 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon against Carolina. And I'd be like, yawn, Carolina, who cares? And then I'm thinking, well, no, that's a big deal because that'll be the first actual game in Highmark. My gosh, what will they be scalping tickets for that on a Saturday afternoon? You don't need to do the Kids Day anything. Are we still going to call it Kids Day? Kids Day was like, hey, it's Kids Day. You're a parent and you're worried about bad behavior and people yakking and peeing and doing everything that they shouldn't in the parking lot. Well, bring your kids to this game. All right,
I'm looking at the schedule right now for that whole first week. Some tickets as low as $8. If you want to go to Jacksonville in New Orleans, $8 to get you into Caesars Superdome.
Okay, the Bills game. All right, let me take a guess. Preseason game number 1, secondary market, $250.
Half that, but still twice as much as everything else. The next highest is the primetime Seattle game, $55. Buffalo, $121 to go at 1 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon against the Carolina Panthers for a game that doesn't even count.
Oh boy. People have asked me, like, have you seen the stadium? And the answer is no. We did here at WGR Rochester get the invite to the ribbon cutting ceremony, but it was on a Tuesday afternoon right while we were on the air. So look, I'm not going to, we can't broadcast live out from the stadium. So that wasn't going to work either. So I'm hoping that, be able to go to one of these preseason games, Tim, and just take it kind of in. I mean, last year camp's storylines were, hey, it's Hard Knocks. That's number one. And then we have the James Cook storyline, right? Well, the storyline this year is kind of like, hey, you're going into a new home, and camp is shorter. And with that, with camp being shorter, you just see where things are headed. And I'm one, and I've seen these videos from Matt Beauvais and others, where you picture Highmark Stadium and you see the big Highmark kind of tower, and it's kind of, it's black as compared to the concrete around. One of those towers got knocked down. And then it was yesterday, like, oh, here are the lights coming crashing down. And it's like, boom. Like, wow, somebody, like, that could take somebody out, certainly. And certainly but this isn't a demolition where I was always curious, like, what are they going to do to demolish Highmark? And, the real cool thing is, hey, let's knock down the Kingdome. And you look at all those things where they hit the TNT.
That was awesome.
Boom, 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 boom. Or Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Boom, boom, boom. We didn't get that. We didn't get that kind of moment where, like, okay, it's gone. This is like putting somebody in hospice. It's like, okay, this is gone. It's not coming back. Stadium is over. I'm sure once we head into the new stadium, like, your memories of the old stadium, or are we going to really pine for it once we see, oh, this is what I've been missing all along here in the NFL?
You'll miss the old days, but that stadium looks way more of an improvement than what they had.
Thank you, Captain. We'll take a break. More of your calls coming up. 585-866-4326. My name is Gene Battaglia. This is the Sports Bar. Got some soccer thoughts, too, here on WGR Rochester.
WGR Rochester Sports Update.
Major League Baseball All-Star break, and tonight, for the first time, the Home Run Derby will be on Netflix. It's in Philadelphia. Two Phillies fronting this competition, Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber. Ben Rice will be representing the Yankees. It's the All-Star break also for the Rochester Red Wings. The Wings are back at it Friday night as they'll take on Jacksonville, the first of three. World Cup semifinals beginning tomorrow. It's France and Spain, 3 o'clock Eastern. Also at 3 o'clock Eastern on Wednesday, Argentina and England in the other semi. NHL schedule coming up on Thursday, incomplete. We will have perhaps a Sabre date or two to leak on Wednesday. Sports is brought to you by GetMyPerks.com. Get 2 rounds for the price of 1 to Eaglevale. For this and other great deals, log on to GetMyPerks.com. G. Battaglin, the sports leader, WGR Rochester.
Rochester's home for live sports and the best sports talk anywhere. The Sports Bar with Gene Battaglia, 95.7 FM and AM 950 WGR, Rochester.
This idea is so fun that it's one of those like, wait, why didn't I think of this first? And maybe we can kind of apply it, to the Bills or whatever your favorite team is. So World Cup, I think we've been treating it for what this is, right? It's a party, and I appreciate soccer fans, and trust me, there are people that love this game, like say Evan Shute, a fine sponsor, and his wife, Liz Masterson, is the head coach for the RIT women. They love soccer 10 times around, and they're not shaming us or anything for getting on board now. That's cool. I love that, and I think by and large that's how soccer fans have kind of treated the rest of the global community. Like, hey, come on in, this is fun. Well, let's have at it. And the idea I was going to mention that, boy, this seemed like something we could have done here in the sports bar. There is a fan in London, for what it's worth. His name is Gus Hully. Gus Hully. That sounds like a guy that's sitting at the end of the bar, right? Gus Hully, prior to the World Cup, made sure he collected 1 beer from each of the 48 World Cup nations.
That's incredible.
And then when that world, is it going to keep those beers on the wall? No. The answer is that when that team gets eliminated, crack. Open it up and then throw it back. Now, this kind of begs the question, right? Like, what did he throw back when the U.S. when the U.S. lost to Belgium? I'm like, okay, what was it? Like that what would have been his choice? That I don't know. Maybe somebody can investigate there. But I'm fascinated. How? Wait a second. I suppose there's a brewery in Iraq. How did that come about?
Give me the Cape Verde beer immediately.
Yes.
Sign me up for that one.
Yes. There are things, too, that I feel educated about, Tim. Like, I'm thinking Cape Verde? There's a song, Heaven Must Be in It, like a disco song where it came out of Cape Verde. Like, okay. You watch the show White Collar, they had Cape Verde as a storyline. It's hard to get extradited from there. Like, that is, okay, I want to go to Cape Verde. And, okay, so this guy threw back 48 different beers. Like, what will we do that for here in the sports bar? Like, I'm thinking... My expectations for the Amerks, like every year, I'm hopeful, but I really don't know because it's minor league hockey, right? But when we get there, I'm confident. Like, wouldn't it be great? Like, all right, we're going to be playing, pick a team, Utica, and then we're just going to open up Utica Club and just drink their beer. Like, is there, if you're an NFL fan, do you do this? Would it be difficult? Because I think in this day and age, I would think every town in America would be known for one beer. Like for here, you could say it's Jenny, or our good friends certainly at Three Heads. Like in Rochester, we've got multiple options, right? What would be the option here? I don't know. What is Cleveland's? What beer are they known for?
They've got a bunch, but I actually they brew Budweiser.
No, you got to
do. I don't know the actual brewery, but
but you got to know what beer. When I was on Kansas City, for the life of me, I can't remember. Like every town should have their own little niche microbrewery. Tim, I'm going to say that
They have Southern Tier Brewing, but that's a New York thing as well.
yeah.
So I'm not sure how it works.
So how does Southern Tier try to get up here? They're known up here. They closed that brewery in Buffalo. I thought that was kind of a cool idea.
Great Lakes, that is a Cleveland place.
Okay, there you go. That's right. I remember that from 10 years
The
ago.
Edmund Fitzgerald.
Yep. A porter. I've had that. Yes.
It's a Christmas beer, they say.
Yeah, that's, as I say, that's a meal, Tim. Have 2 of those, and you don't need to eat for the rest of the day. 585-866-4326. We were talking about how those pictures, like, oh, yeah, here's more demolition happening at Old Highmark. There's pictures today out of Foxborough where you look at that stadium, not called Boston Stadium anymore. They can go back to calling it Gillette. They can take all the little duct tape off all the seats covering up the sponsor logo. You know, also taking off, in addition to the duct tape, the grass, gonzo. Because you look at it now, it's like, that's it? It's just flatted out dirt. What a waste.
Just keep it.
What a waste of money. What a freaking waste of money. You mean to tell me that Robert Kraft couldn't keep the sprinklers on and at least keep that grass green through the preseason and actually play on grass? Like there had to be some sort of deal to get that out of there right away.
I wonder if that's a FIFA rule because they're the most corrupt organization in the history of organizations.
Well, they got to take the grass out right away.
That's our grass.
That's our grass. We got to sell. Well, I saw that for the final, you can buy a World Cup patch of grass. I can only imagine how much that'll go for.
Wild.
Like, please stop. Oh my gosh, somebody's cleat once touched this blade of grass. I think, Tim, because we don't like talking about labor relations. I don't. You don't. Nobody does. The idea of okay, somewhere in the back of my mind, I'm going to watch tonight. I'm going to watch tomorrow. I'm going to think, are we going to have this event next year? Could the labor problem be so bad? Or maybe even if maybe they get a late start, but hey, we got to fit in as many games as possible, and therefore we're going to have to sacrifice the All-Star game next year. I don't know, but that's the story that's going to be this offseason. Like, oh my gosh, this is not good for Major League Baseball. For the NFL, we're not anywhere near that. NFL, okay, we'll have this conversation in 2030. And the NFL, you know what they want. They want to go to an 18th game. They want to expand international travel. And for the players, hey, safety is going to be a key hot button word, right? This seems like it's the easiest thing NFL owners are teeing up. What the NFL owners really want to do, you don't need me to tell you this, make more money. That's what they want to do, make more money. And how do you make more money? Well, you get people, you outsource games overseas. Yes, I'll take that check. Great. Oh, good. Telemundo's going to give us a bigger contract. Thank you. Hey, let's go to an 18th regular season game. And you don't think that football fans will be clamoring for it because it's going to come up again this August as it will next August and the August after that. Why are we playing 3 preseason games? This is dumb. Give us more meaningful football. Well, players don't want to do that because of safety. But the easiest thing the owners can do is put the damn grass on the field. And you're seeing this in Buffalo. There's a cost with this. It would have been cheaper at Highmark just to turf the field. You know what? I probably wouldn't have thought anything differently. I was actually pleasantly surprised. Wait a second. We're going to have the heated field and we're going to have real grass? You know how that's going to print in September and October? Well, we only get one October game. That kind of sucks, right? But it's going to look great. Now, what that means is, though, that, hey, you like a little snow game in Buffalo, it'll melt as soon as it hits the field. See Kansas City or anywhere else that has this heated field. So, to me, what's happening in Foxborough and all these NFL stadiums that became temporary homes for FIFA, if I were FIFA, by the way, wouldn't you want to do this here once every 3 go-rounds? In other words, once every 12 years? When is the next time our country will get to host World Cup action? And I don't know. Saudi Arabia is going to be after the next one. That's 8 years from now. So 16 years from now, 20 years from now? How's it also going to look? And talk about making more money. Now, FIFA does not have individual owners, but FIFA wants to make more money. And how can you make more money? Easy. Expansion. And I hate this idea. Hate. That they are talking about expanding the World Cup field to 64 teams, which I don't know how that would look. You say 64 teams, automatically, what do we think of? Bing, bracket, merch, yay. Oh my gosh, it's a 16 over a 1. Do we really need to see, I don't know, France against pick a country that's really, really bad?
Country that didn't even make it.
Right. Yeah, right. Like, do we really need, like, sorry for every fan of Italia, you didn't make it. Well, guess what? In this proposal, now this is far from a certain thing that they'll expand the field coming up 4 years from now. But I'm not in favor of it. I just wanted to go on the record and say, no, sometimes more is not more.
64 in the country right now is Cape Verde, or 64 in the world. So, irony.
So, therefore, you were kind of popping my theory there, poking a little hole into it. It goes to the theory, like I was going back and forth with PJ Glasser, who will join us on Wednesday, where he's comparing, these final teams to the final four to NBA teams. And I don't know, I look at Argentina and I look at how they're pulling out some of these games that really they shouldn't be pulling out, but they have arguably the best player in the world right now. Okay, well, why are they doing that? Who would you comp them to? They're the Kansas City Chiefs, folks. Like, the Chiefs, particularly 2 years ago, like, wait a second. How are they winning games? Botch snap, block field goal. Hey, hitting the upright. Me throwing up over myself. Like, all these reasons the Chiefs keep winning games. And here's Argentina doing it again. I didn't expect the Swiss to upset them, but and honestly, I think the Swiss kind of did it to themselves. So much discourse of, well, the official should have saw that dive and he should have just got a warning. No, it's a penalty. Okay, you have a VAR. Stop the damn diving. That's all what we want in sports. Stop with the theatrics. Okay, let's do just the kind of the family feud. What is the number one objection of non-soccer fans when they watch the World Cup? Number one objection, flopping. Ding, 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 bum, 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 bum. Yeah. I don't know why the culture of flopping, like, wouldn't you just like to see, hey, somebody that flopped and like, hey, you know what? You're going to flop. I'm going to give you a roundhouse. Like, that's what I want to see. But, like, are all these officials really stupid? Maybe we'll get to a point where all the flopping just becomes so ridiculous that, hey, the VAR is going to tap that. But my gosh, we were joined by the new head coach of the Nighthawks. You remember that, Tim? He was,
I don't like soccer.
Yeah, he's like, I don't like the flopping. And this was like, he's from Canada. He's saying, I'm like, hey, Canada, their first ever World Cup. I'm thinking, hey, common ground. You're from Canada. People in Canada are excited about the World Cup. What do you think? I don't like soccer. Okay.
I respect the hell out of it. I was stunned by it, but I respect the hell out of it. It was great.
From the not-so-surprising story, as they're just scrolling this across now, Aaron Donald's working out of the Rams facility. Oh, I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked. People are saying, why isn't this getting more coverage? Because it's kind of a done deal, right? Anybody, okay, are you going to come back or no?
It'd be the least surprising surprise for him to unretire.
For sure. Last call is for you. You can write to us also at WGR Rochester. Our phone number 585-866-4326. Last call. We'll take your calls. Final takes here as well. We'll set you up for tomorrow. This is the Sports Bar, WGR Rochester.
Sports Bar with Gene Battaglia on the Sports Leader, 95.7 FM and AM 950 WGR, Rochester.
All right, Tim, you are a friend.
Yeah.
Am I losing my hearing? I like, honestly, I hear this happens to a lot of people as they get older, but Pizza Dude just comes in here and like he pokes his head in the studio. Like, what? Come in and sit and bitch. What?
I heard it the whole way the whole time.
You
so,
told
so
come
maybe.
see me when in the office after the show. I'm like, oh, okay.
Heard that.
I'm like, oh no, is this really happening? Self-awareness, it's important. So I don't know. Like if you're talking to me, I can hear it. But if like 3 things are coming at me at once,
Too many words.
Yeah, too many words, too many messages. Yeah, old man problems. Welcome back to the Sports Bar. Brian Cozy will join us tomorrow, it's timely. We didn't talk about the Krebs extension because, well, honestly, he's signed, right? 4 years, $18 million. They avoid arbitration. I think Krebs is a great role player, and I think he could do some different things. It's a different skill set that's not going to cost you a lot of money. And again, I don't like talking about arbitration because you don't like talking about arbitration, but he was never going to go anywhere. The arbitration date was August 1st. They get it done today. My take on the Sabres is like, hey, everybody's celebrating the word got out, according to David Pagnotta, that Connor Hellebuck wants to come to Buffalo.
An awesome sentence, but as you were saying.
Well, you don't want that out.
It is nice to hear, but.
No, you don't. Right. Yeah, like, that's just to feed you if you are somebody like, this is awesome. Yay. No, keep it quiet. I don't need the price driven up. I want the trade to happen. I just don't want it coming at the expense of Helenius and Ostlund and a first-round pick. Like, we could revisit that. What would you do? I would do one of them. Honestly, that's what UPL, a first-rounder.
The aforementioned Krebs, maybe.
Well,
he's a nice piece.
I don't think he's re-signing. That's bad business. You don't re-sign somebody here and then you're going to ship him off to Winnipeg. I don't think that's. I don't think that.
Anaheim's one thing. Winnipeg,
no, that's not it. 585-866-4326. Home Run Derby tonight, and just try to have fun with this. Like, I'm hoping that Netflix presents this well. Murakami from the White Sox. I've got to be honest. I haven't seen him outside of a highlight. So I'd like to see, why would the White Sox be on anything meaningful? So curious to see what he's all about. Jordan Walker from the Cardinals. If you're not familiar with him, he looks like he should be like playing tight end, right? So this is a guy that's just going to go up there and just hack away. Rice from the Yankees. He was in Scranton just 2 years ago. I mean, he was here in Rochester just 2 years ago. 29 homers for the Yankees. The highlight here being Schwarber and Harper, getting to say both of them, yes, here in Philadelphia. Caminero for the Rays is my pick. I think Caminero, this feels right. No Alonso. September, you got to wait till the Orioles getting to Citi Field, which I promised my son a trip to Pittsburgh to see the Mets. And you would think like the prices would be bottoming out. No, it's summertime. People still want to go see Major League Baseball, right? Okay, well, I'm going to go see the Mets coming up in Pittsburgh. By that point, I just, like, to be a fan of a team, I'm of the opinion you got to kind of ride in the bad times too. It's great that the Knicks won. It's great that the Sabres are improving. But, stick with your teams in the bad times. That's how people know you're a real fan. Tomorrow on the show, as we mentioned, we will have Brian Koziel, where we'll preview the final major of the season, the Open. Brian, of course, being the co-host of Tee to Green, which you hear Saturday mornings here on WGR. We will also be taking your calls tomorrow. We want to thank also today's guest, Matt Thomas, the head coach of the RIT men's hockey team, for stopping by in studio. As if you missed that, we're on 1 to 3 Eastern every day. Download the Odyssey app and go back and listen in the Rewind feature. Dan DeLorean will be back in studio with us here coming up on Thursday. For Tim Schneider, my name is Gene Battaglia. Show Up in the Bulldog coming your way next here on Rochester Sports Leader, WGR Rochester.